Hi guys, this is Brandy. So this is going to be my first video in the Finish a Project. And the project that I'm going to work on, it actually was not one in my drawers that I showed in the short the other day. This one I just had with my other Halloween stuff. And seeing how it's the end of September right now, I thought I would go ahead and do this one. Now, I did a video on this probably like 3 or 4 years ago. I didn't look at the date. I did look and see that I made a video for when I made this cover. So, and then I've made a couple of signatures for it. So we're going to go ahead and get these sewn in and finish up the cover today. I'm not sure what I'm going to cover it with, but we're going to figure it out. This is very bright, so I think I'm going to I want to cover with some fabric, but I'm thinking, hold on, I got to reach my fabric here. I have bought some, sorry if y'all couldn't hear me well, I bought some Tim Holtz fabric. So I love Halloween, y'all. I just love the creepiness of it, and I know some people don't do Halloween, but in this, I want to talk about this series. So I want to do these videos. My goal is to do them live, but I don't have the guts to do that yet. So right now I'm making videos, but I'm trying to make them where I do the as little editing as possible. So that is the goal I'm thinking of. And you know, I think I like this one because a lot of the eyes have the green in it, and then it has the orange, and it's not like super Halloween-y. When I say that, it's not like skull and crossbones, you know. So I like the look of that. So let's use this fabric, and we're going to first see if you can see the Snickers stuff through it, because I don't want to be able to see that. I don't know. I don't think you'll be able to see it. I might just, in case, go ahead and just cover it with some paper. I think I'm going to do that because I'm really worried I'm going to get it stuck down and then you're going to be able to see it through there. So let me grab a piece of paper. So I just have a regular sheet of copy paper that I'm going to use, and I'm going to put that, I have my little hand here. I love decorating with vintage stuff. I actually have a little vintage booth. So yeah, I really love doing that. So I have a lot of stuff I use. He can hold our little brush. Move this out of the way. I think I'm going to cover this and the spine separate, just because I don't want to have to worry about it buckling or anything. When I'm doing something all over, like coverage all over, I like to use this collage medium. I normally and always will use art glitter glue. I love that glue. It's the best glue, but this works great for large areas because I know I'm getting edge to edge coverage. This also I will use this when I stick the fabric down too, because it'll hold, I mean, it holds all kinds of things. So I don't usually, okay. So I figure instead of pre-cutting it, we're just going to stick it down, and then I will cut around it. That'll make it easier. So I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm hoping with this series, like, people will decide to pull some of those projects out that you haven't finished and just pretend like I'm a friend in your craft room and craft along so we can get some projects completed. I know people are doing new projects like Christmas cards and such as that, but I'm trying to get some of these projects completed that I've started and have just, you know, fallen by the wayside. And I think we all have them, those projects, you know, because if you're like me, you see a project online, you watch a YouTube video, and or somebody posts something on social media, and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to make that. And so I'm always getting a new idea, but I don't finish the old idea first. That also follows me into my sewing, because I have tons of quilts that I have started and haven't completed. So yeah, I'm just an all around oh, you know what, I did go over that a little bit. Let's just clip that, because I don't want that to be buckling up under the fabric. I do have my camera kind of zoomed in, and mainly because my desk is a mess. I promise y'all, the only clean area on my desk is this little area I'm crafting in, because beyond that, it is a disaster area. So I obviously made this video, y'all, before the end of 2020, or at the beginning of 2020, or in 2021 or 2022, because it's the expiration date on this box. So it was time for me to get this finished. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna try to stay in frame. Over here, I have to remember I have to work over here too, because of the way the camera is set up. I'll get this figured out eventually. So that I didn't cut very straight, but that's okay, because we're gonna come through now and I'm going to cover this area. Let me get this little corner, didn't catch. So if you're going to work on a project, tell me in the comments what you're going to work on. Really would be interested to know. Let's measure this so we can see how big this is. So it's about 1 inch. It's probably a little bit more than 1 inch. Let's see how it, let's bend it and measure it that way. That's probably the better way to do it. All right, so we have 1 1/8 by 7 1/4. So I'm gonna cut that. Oops. It's over here on the really messy side of my desk. I have an L-shaped desk, so I could have more room to craft. And yeah, it's just, that other side is just a pile of stuff on it most of the time. Most of the time, that's what it's for. But, you know, I need that extra space. All right, so 7 1/4 and 1 1/8. Well, hope I measure correctly. My last video, I did some incorrect measuring and cut things wrong. Mochi's gonna tell y'all about it. Or Cece, I don't know. They sound the same. All right, let's hope I did that right. They're gonna talk to us about it. All right, sorry I hit the camera. I mean, I see a little bit of red, but I think that'll be fine. We're gonna go ahead and cover that. I'm gonna try not to get this on the front cover, because I don't want any paint globs, which I'm not really doing a great job at that. I can always put some lace or something over it, so it's not a big deal, but I was trying to be careful. So I do have some pre-made ephemera that I'm hoping I can just like throw in here. One of the ephemera pieces that's already inside one of these signatures is like one of my most watched videos on YouTube, which is funny. It's a Halloween ephemera video, and every year at this time it gets more views, so that's kind of awesome. And even for the 2 years I didn't do YouTube videos, it still got views, so it's a really popular video. I'll link it and the video from when I made the cover below, so y'all can check it out. All right. I know I'm doing a lot of flipping and flopping. Let's see. I feel like, well, it doesn't really, there it is. It's hard to see with this white mat under me. I'm still trying to decide if I like this white mat or not. All right, so now we're going to do the fabric, and I thought I was maybe going to do it in 2 pieces, but I may just do it in 1 piece now that I'm thinking about it, just because I don't want to mess up the plaid pattern, because then I'm going to have to match it up, and that's going to be a pain. And I really should press it beforehand, but I really don't want to. Yeah. Yeah, funny story. I used to do clowning. Like, I used to dress like a clown for a ministry at church. And my name was Wrinkles the Clown. And not because I was older, because I was only about 25 when I did it, but because my clothes are always wrinkled because I refused to use an iron. Now, then I started quilting years after that. And, of course, I would use an iron for quilting, but that's it. So, yeah. All right, you know, I can sit here and measure all day, but we're just going to stick it down and cut around it, and we'll work out the wrinkles, because when it's all completed, we're not going to be super worried about it. If there's spots on there that are wrinkled up or whatever, one good thing about a junk journal is I feel like, especially in junk journaling, all mistakes can just be covered with more stuff. Like, you can just throw something on there, like throw a pocket on there, throw some lace on there. You know, you can just, you fix it up as you go. And it still turns out nice. That always seems to be a good way to handle little mess ups, is just use it for an opportunity to be more creative. So hopefully that piece of paper is enough to keep the Snickers from showing through, because I really don't want the Snickers to show through. And I am using a lot of glue because I don't want it to dry before I have to, before I get this all stuck down. So I'm just going to start here, and I am going to go off the edge enough where I can tuck it around on the other side. Pull it. Let's get that measured up over here. Now, I don't really want the glue to seep through. Hopefully it won't. It already has there, but that's on the spine, and I know I'm probably going to cover it more. I usually put lace or something on the spine after I sew the signatures in, so I'm not too worried about that. All right, so that's good for now. I should have grabbed some paper towels or something, but I was making alcohol ink, using alcohol ink the other day. See, pretty. I've never made like a little vignette before, so I was trying my hand at that. So I was alcohol inking these little bottles, and I was making some little books. So if y'all would like to see me film that, just comment and let me know. All right, so I do want to see how I turned over these. I would like to do that on this side too. So let me cut around it some to do that. And I do see on the corners it didn't stick very well, so I'm gonna have to go through and add some. Oh, hold on. I have my glue brush right there, and I'm about to put the cover in it. So I don't know if y'all are the same way, but I have a project in mind, and so I'll buy all the stuff for the project, and then later I'm like, then I don't work on the project, and I forget what I bought for the project. So yeah. Now, it's been so long. Y'all have to bear with me, because I have been making everything under the sun, and I haven't really done a journal in a while. So I have to remember how to do all this. I started making junk journals in 2020. That's when I started my YouTube channel. and I just jumped in headlong. I had been paper crafting since 1997. I started scrapbooking, and that was how I got into the world of paper crafting. And I still do some scrapbooking, but not very much. I do like to make cards, and I love making junk journals. And I do quilts, and I do crochet, and I just recently started knitting, and I love to do embroidery and cross stitch. So basically I like to do everything. I even for a while I did metal smithing and made jewelry out of sterling silver and copper for a while, and I still love it. I haven't done it in a long time, but it's something that I know how to do, and one day I'll do it again. All right, so I know I want to miter the corners. I probably cut that corner too short, but I'm going to stick this down, and hopefully I got all the wrinkles out. The birds are going to help us out with the project today. I don't know if we'll get the signature sewn in today, because I just thought about the fact that this is all wet, and I really want to let it dry before we sew the signatures in, because it's gonna, if I have to drag that needle through wet glue, it's not gonna work. And the thread, that's not gonna work very well. So let me stick that corner down. Now we will use some art glitter glue right here. Yeah, this is, if everybody when I use this asks me what it is, but this is, and I think more people know about it now. This is the My Sweet Petunia, who makes the Misty's glue press. And if you have any problems with your hands, I do with the joints in my hands, this is the best tool ever invented. I absolutely love it. It works amazing, and you can squirt the glue out over and over and over again and never worry about your hand hurting. It is great. All right, I put too much glue there, but that's okay. We're just gonna flip it around. I guess we could figure out which we want to cover the inside with. I don't want to do a cloth, like a fabric on the inside. I think we'll do some paper. I had all this paper for what I use for the inside somewhere, but of course, since I started making this journal, I have rearranged my craft room many times. You know, I'm a professional at organizing my craft room, and then have to continually organize it because I bought more stuff. Can you relate? So, all right. So I don't want to bend it now because I don't want this to bump up. But I'm just going to find that little... These are the best bone folders. Love them. Don't know who makes them. I think it's Dress My Craft, but they are amazing. So I'm just hopefully going in the right spot to find the bin. I'm not worried about this along there. When you open that, you can see that, but I'm going to put some lace or something right there, so that's no problem. I think I went a little crooked with it, for sure did, but you know what? Whatever. It's a junk journal. It's supposed to be made out of junk. So we're just going to pretend that's how I meant for it to be. All right, let's see. I have this paper sitting beside me because I was using it for some things, and I don't know if it's the vibe I want. Let's look at it, just because it's in close proximity, and that in itself makes it like a candidate. So I do like this. It does have the steampunk vibe to it because this is steampunk paper, but I do like it. And I like this. Ooh, that looks really nice with the plaid. We put that on that page. I'm really liking that. I wish it was 12 by 12. Maybe we would have enough for both sides, but And then, of course, I've already used the other pieces of it on other projects. See, this is already cut. I think this would work great for this spot. I mean, it doesn't cover the whole thing, but I could always, you know, put something in the center. Oh, I like that. That's perfect. All right, so let's do this one on the front and this one on the back. So that's one of the good things I will say about keeping your desk not clean all the time is I cannot tell you how many times after making something, I guess I could do this while I'm talking. After making something that I have sat down at my desk and just made a ton of tags with ephemera I have sitting on my desk. Yeah, can't tell you how many times I've done that. And I will make the cutest tags when I'm just sitting down with absolutely no direction on what I'm going to do and just make tags. So I will tell you, one of the greatest joys of junk journaling for me was not always measuring everything. So I started as a scrapbooker and then I became a card maker, and there's lots of measuring. And when I first started watching people make junk journals, and they would just put scribble a little spot like this, like, you know, just make a little mark on the page. And then they would cut it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they didn't measure anything. And I just thought, wow, I need to do that more often. And I finally learned the joys of doing that because it's so much better. So on this part, I'm going to use the sticky tape. I have wider sticky tape and it would probably work better, but I'm actually going to use glue too. We're just using the sticky tape as extra assurance that it's going to stick. So if y'all would be interested in watching lives, let me know, because I'm really kind of chicken. Although I was selling on Whatnot for a little while, so that kind of got me used to doing something live. I had never done anything live before. I'd only done videos. So it is fun to be live and talk to people in real time. It's just not something I had done before. Oh, goodness. Okay. I lost my pokey tool. I don't know where it is, and they don't make a pokey tool like that anymore. When I went in May to Maymay's Craft Acropolis, I thought it was packed in my stuff, and I'm pretty sure I unpacked it, but I have no idea where I put it. And of course, as I've already told you, my craft room has been rearranged since then multiple times. So I'm sure it is around here somewhere. I just don't know where. So I'm just going through with the art glitter glue. And you may ask, well, why are you using art glitter glue now instead of the collage medium? And I don't know. I just am. There's no rhyme or reason to the things I do. So make sure that's stuck down. It's kind of hard because these I'm like pressing and I'm getting those eyes. So let me kind of do this. I love how this turned out. It turned out so cute. All right. So that is pretty stuck down. See, I wanted to put the tape around the edges because I wanted to make sure if the glue wasn't, you know, stuck well around this fabric, that would hold it. And I can see a little bit of something going on here with this corner. Let me stick that down some. We're just, I put this on there to kind of hold it. I don't know if that's going to work. We'll put that there and hopefully that does a good job. All right, let's see. Now for the back. So my drawer basically consists of a whole bunch of mini albums and junk journals that need to be completed. So I want to work on that, but also in between that, I want to do my normal videos. So I'm going to try to incorporate both. I mean, right now, my only job outside of my house is doing my vintage booth. I am going to start organizing one of my friends' storage shed for her. She sells on Whatnot and also has a booth. And so I'm going to be doing that a couple days a week. But honestly, since my mom passed away, I really haven't been, I haven't been doing that much. Kind of been laying around, and it's time to get up and go. My mom would want me to get up and go and do things and be successful. And if you don't follow Crafting Chaos with Melanie, follow her, because she just had a milestone on her channel. And I think she reached 3,000 subscribers, but y'all follow her. She's a great person. She does great videos, and she just her success has inspired me to do more. And I love supporting other crafters, and she supported me with my Whatnot channel, and y'all just go follow her. Let's give her some more followers. Okay. If I had anything for myself more, it's this ruler, and the fact that it is you know, clear doesn't help. Now this one I am going to measure because I want this back to be the same size as this cover. So let's see. So it's about 6 3/4 by 4 1/4. 6 3/4 by 4 1/4. Stuff's falling off the desk. My dog's looking at the stuff that just fell off like, why'd you throw this down here? All right, so let's cut this Brandon strip off first. And then we had 4 1/4, so I want it to go this direction. Wait, hold on, I gotta think this through. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, 4 1/4 and 6 3/4. This is only 8-inch paper, so excuse me. 6 3/4 be right there. All right. Okay, I mean, you're not going to see them both at the same time because the signatures are going to be in there. So I think that's lined up pretty good. So let's take that off. I always have to remind myself, like, what are you going to see and what are you not going to see? Because you can really get hung up on things that you're not going to see at the end. And so it's really not worth it to, like, sit here and, you know, overthink it. All right. Put some glue over here. I need to refill my bottle. That is one of the things I'm excited. I'm going to May's Craft Acropolis again at the end of October. And I'm super excited to go. It's so much fun. So many friends there. But also, I can buy me some more art glitter glue because I desperately need more. Y'all, if you haven't tried that glue, I swear, it's the best glue. It is so good. I swore as a scrapbooker I would never use liquid glue. Like back in the day, liquid glue was like the enemy. Like nobody used liquid glue. Like it warps your paper and all that stuff. But y'all, this glue is awesome. All right. Yay! We have front and back. And now we need to do the center here because even when I get the signatures in, hold on, I'm trying to grab them. They're running away from me. Even when we get those signatures in, you're going to be able to see on either side of that. So, you know, I want to use something different. Let me see what else I have. Ooh, this polka dot. But look, it's got the cut aparts on the back. You know, I think if I I don't really like this cut apart part here, so we're going to cut it from this section. Oh, I don't want to bend it. I think it was 7 1/4 by 1 1/8. Was that it? I think that was it. I think that was the measurement we used earlier, so I'm just going to cut it and we'll hope for the best. And if that's not right, then I guess I'll lose another part of the paper. So we have 1 1/8. 1 1/8. By 7 1/4. Wait a second. Oh man, I had already cut some off of this paper, so it's not long enough. Let's look with the, oh, but that's right, because it almost fits. I forgot we don't need it that long because it only needs to go where the other paper is. Okay, I think we can make it work. Let's make it work. I'm just going to cut this right below the Brandon strip. And that was not straight, but that's okay. I need to cut it a little bit skinnier. I do not trust myself with cutting a straight line without scissors. I mean, with scissors. All right. Yeah, I was scared it's going to get caught in that fold. So I'm going to cut it, trim it down a little bit. I am not going to use the sticky tape in the center because when I have to sew those signatures in, I don't want the it to get the needle have to go through that sticky tape. It will make it a lot harder to go through, so we're not going to put that there. That will just be a mess. All right. Well, that worked out pretty good. Now you can still see like some of the cardboard there, and that's okay because after we get this all decorated, I will put like some lace here or some washi tape. I will do something to that effect to get that part covered. All right. So this is, oh, hold on. This is your outside, and it's not dry yet, so I don't want to try to bend it yet. If you do this, like bend it before it dries all the way, it can make it buckle and not look right, which honestly, you can just cover that up with something. It's not a huge deal, but we're going to wait. Here is the inside, and you have the outside. So what we're going to do now, since I'm not going to sew the signatures in on this video, I am going to figure out where we need to poke the holes to sew our signatures in. So now we're going to measure this hole. It is 7 1/4. And we're going to do 7 1/4 by 1. That's what we're going to use for our measurement for this. So let's go ahead and cut this down. This is going to be our template that we're going to use to mark our holes. Oops. Okay. 7 1/4. All right. Now, it's been a long time since I've done this, so I have to remember what I want to do. So the first thing I want to do is find the center of this paper. So let's fold that in half so we have the center. And I will admit, I am no expert at this. So if you've seen somebody do this a different way and you like that way, then do it that way, because I am no expert. By any means do I even pretend to be an expert at this. All right, so so that's at 1/2 inch. So let's do 1/4 inch and 1/4 inch on each side of this line. So I'm going to lay the 1/4 inch mark. Let me try to draw a line on the center so we can see it better. I'm just showing y'all the way I do this, and there's lots of ways to do everything. If you've seen somebody do this in a better way, then by all means, do what's easier for you. Oh, dang it. Just gotta love that. This pen is so old. I'm surprised it even still writes. Let's try it out. It's probably the glass under it. I know glass under pens don't always work well. So let's take this slow. Is it writing? Yeah, it's writing now. Okay. So we have our center line marked. So now I'm going to place the 1/4 inch mark on that center line all the way across, and I'm going to mark that. All right. And now we're going to do it on the other side. All right. And this may not be perfect, but you know what? Things don't have to be perfect. I think we get very hung up on things being like just right. And when you wanting things to be just right stops your creativity process, that's when it's a problem. So do the thing that you want to do and don't worry about if someone else thinks it's the right way. When I first started quilting, I went to this lady's shop. She didn't like the fabrics I picked out for my quilt, and she criticized me for it, and that for a long time bothered me. But you know, I wish I knew what I know now, and I wouldn't have been worried about it, because you know, just because it wasn't what she would choose didn't mean it wasn't right for me. All right, so now we're going to fold that in half, and that's our center going that way. So that's where our center holes are going to be. So we're going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So then to do our top holes, I like to come in about 3/4 inch from the top. So put the ruler on right at 3/4 inch, and right there on our 1/4 inch lines, I'm going to mark that. And then I'm going to decide, I think that's perfect. All right, so now I'm going to come on this end, and I'm going to mark at 3/4 inch right here on. All right, so the reason there's no marks on that center is I only have 2 signatures. So I want the 2 signatures to have room. And I hope this is right, and it may not be, but we'll find out, because the signatures are pretty thick. But I think if I have a signature here, that would give me room on that side. And then we have a signature here. That's room for them. That might be too far over. Maybe I should have done 1/8 inch. Hold on, I'm rethinking this, y'all. Well, I showed y'all how to do it, but I am going to go back and make a new one, and I'm going to do 1/8 inch over instead of because that leaves only 1/4 on each side and a 1/2 inch in the middle, and I think it would be better if it had more on the sides and less in the middle. So I am going to redo that, and I'll show y'all when I'm done. So here is the new one I did. As you can see, there's more room on the outside, and then in between there's just 1/4 of an inch, where before I had a 1/2 inch on the inside and very little on the outside. These are already pretty thick signatures, so I'm hoping that works better. We'll see. Haven't really made signatures this thick before, and that might be an issue, so we'll learn. And that's one thing when you're doing crafting, you learn, of course, by all the things you do all along the way. This is the my most watched video is making this. So if you'd like to see how I made that, I'll link the video below. And that's all we're going to do today. And thank y'all. Please continue to tune in for my series on finishing a project. Also, please like this video. It lets YouTube know that you liked it and other people might like it too. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I hope you have a great day. Bye, guys.